Hey guys, so another video or continuation of the last video on my E500. So E500 Limited. I'm going to tell you what it's like to own this car. I really don't know where to start with a video like this. It's hard to kind of just describe what something's like. I'd say, well, I'd start with kind of history of this car, so and how I kind of got into W124s. So going back now nearly 20 years, my father owned a Mercedes E280. It was a W124. It was in tourmaline green, which I think is a great colour for the 124. So Dad made a great choice. I remember at the time we went to pick it up near Bristol in the United Kingdom. It's a 1995 model E280 with the mushroom or cream leather, beautiful condition, really low mileage, and my dad kept that car probably for over 10 years. Shortly after my father purchased that car in 2001, my uncle, who's very much into cars, is a car nut, he then bought a 500e. So at the time we didn't really know what a 500e was. We were not kind of familiar with what is a 500e. We just thought the 280 and the 320, I mean, and that's it. Not many people knew at that time what 500e is. And to this day he still has that car. He didn't run it for many years. I think he basically something happened to it and he's parked up ever since. He's still got it, so a great attachment. And since then, I mean, my brother and I, probably my cousins to be fair, we've just been hooked on E500s and 124s. So that kind of started the love affair. And when I first started driving, I drove all sorts of things. So lots of BMWs, finished up with an E46 M3, which by the way is a great car. Lots of Mercs, so many 124s, had an SLK 55. My daily driver is a C63 AMG. So but this was really it's that kind of connection from a younger age was really when it all started. And ever since then I've kind of been hunting for the perfect E500. And for me it's always been the Limited. I know people, they don't really rate the Limited, they think it's overrated, they don't really understand the interior. But for some reason, I mean, just it being a limited production car, and it having that beautiful sapphire black paintwork, which actually looks blue most of the time, was really something that I looked for. And look, I've seen lots over time. There's lots of cars I've missed and not bought when I should have. So yeah, this is what got me into it. Now, in terms of what it's like to drive, I mean, it's lovely to drive. It's just it's smooth, it's powerful. Gearbox, 4-speed gearbox, could be better, would be much nicer with a 5-speed, but anyway, that's just how things were. I think the best thing about the 4-speed is it is a strong gearbox, so it's a good gearbox. But yeah, apart from that, it's a nice car, and it's so friendly to drive. I mean, I'm driving just now in traffic, sort of stop-start, and it's running lovely. It's absolutely silent. This car's completely stock, so it's got the catalytic converters installed, the resonator, and the back box, or the muffler, whatever you want to call it, and it's totally stock. So it's completely silent, and without the stereo on, I mean, to be fair, you can barely even hear the engine. With a nice exhaust, these sound really nice, but when they're stock, it's just very quiet. You just kind of get a shove from the V8 from time to time. And really, this is not the best environment to drive a car like this. It's the E500 is sort of best suited on the motorway, on the freeway, because of and you really feel the grunt, the extra torque of the V8 against the straight six when you're driving it fast. Around town, yeah, it's a bit heavy. It feels like a heavy car, I guess, especially compared to the C63, or that's probably why it feels heavy, because that's what I'm used to. C63 is kind of go-kart sort of feeling. Steering's surprisingly nice. Suspension's much nicer than the C63 around town. It's a lot softer. This suspension, this car's pretty worn, so I think once I've kind of got all that replaced, it's going to be a lot better. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's very smooth. I mean, if you plant the throttle, it just goes. You know, I mean, you don't need to engage kickdown. It kicks down itself from a certain amount of throttle travel. The gearbox is nice. It's very positive. Changes, you can adjust kind of how harsh it changes. I think mine's probably in the middle. I've been in cars which change a bit harsher, and some of those change a bit softer. That's okay. One thing happened when I bought it. I think it was the second day I got it back to Dubai. The EZL fried while it was getting an inspection, which was bloody pain really. So I had to put a new EZL in and an ignition control module. But apart from that, it drives really lovely. The other thing I like to change is the brakes. The brake discs are aftermarket, so they're not Mercedes original. And yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of poke, so it does. I mean, you just give it a bit of a prod of the throttle, and it just goes, you know. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's an E500. It's a 94. This was kind of just a little video to tell you a bit about the car, and just to give you some background. I do plan to do some more driving videos of the car to show you kind of how it drives. I mean, it probably drives like every other well-maintained E500. It's smooth, it works, it goes well, and yeah, I think it's a great car. And I enjoy driving it, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I thank you for watching. Cheers.